mic. 1 2 1 2 on the microphone. How's everyone doing? Oh, it's good to be here. It's not often I get really in depth in trading stuff on a Monday, so it makes a difference for me. Even though I'm usually kind of eager to talk about it, eager to get stuck in, I rarely get the opportunity to come and actually, do trading stuff on a Monday. So this makes a really nice change for me. Hopefully you can all see the screen, guys. If you can't see the screen, just give it a reload. Just reload the room. I'll kind of just hang around here for a couple of secs until you've reloaded. Hey. We can see a picture of Jason. Yeah, that's all it is this session. Just going to have me on the screen. And I'm just kidding. Podcast is awesome. Thank you very much. So as you can see, we've kind of filtered out a couple of the riffraff, right? Okay, and that's typically what we do here. This is tier 1. Okay, this isn't. I appreciate that there's lots and lots of people that have come in from. I'd let you in on a little thing here, right? For this event, we ran some ads on Facebook to get people into the event, right? Because we've got a great platform and we haven't spent a penny on advertising or getting anything in until this. We haven't really run any Facebook ads until this event. And obviously what happens is it goes out to colder people who don't necessarily know us, don't know what we're all about, and they haven't been part of tier 1. So it's obvious we're going to get kind of the people that kind of, oh, it's just another Forex scammer, it's just another kind of educator that's trying to take your money, and we totally understand that. I'm literally going to shoot straight with you. Totally understand. There's no way that I could possibly, expect anything less than that, because there are people that don't know us, and then the community that did know tier 1, they were like fighting back on the comments, going, no, these guys are the real deal. I've traded with them for this many years. I'm profitable because of these guys. They are the best educators bar none. And there's no point. Like it's totally understandable, because look at the industry. It's full of, people selling snake oil. It's just rough. So it's totally understandable. I hope you guys are here. I hope some of you are skeptical are here. And we've got such a great week in store for you guys. But the way that we do things around here is different to how you've seen before. Okay, what we do from day 1 is we give realistic expectations. We start at the basics. We kind of work your way in. We don't just sell you a dream. I know that's kind of, it's funny because people come in and they go, oh, it's just another educator selling a dream. They come in, we don't sell the dream, and then they go, when are we going to get to the charts? When are we going to learn the strategy? And it's like, well, hang on a minute, what do you want? So we do a very, very good job at filtering out that riffraff, okay? We don't want that. And as I take you through, I'm going to give you a little bit of an intro into what tier 1 is and why it exists, because I think many people are going, oh yeah, but what is your platform? What is tier 1? What is the platform? What kind of, what makes you different? And I'm going to, as this is called the trading edge, I think it's only fair that I share the edge we've got as a business that means that the likes of Mike Bellafiore want to work with us, and Brett Steenberger want to work with us, and Forbes magazine want to feature us in their magazine. That is an edge in this industry for sure. Like you don't see that. Okay. When we want to host an event in London and we want to invite the best traders that we know into an event, you don't see the likes of, the other kind of people selling the dream and all that. They're just not invited to those types of events. It's just, you just have to kind of do your homework and you have to go around and have a look. And also, those of you who do know me and you do know Akil and you've known us, we've been singing the same tune for many, many years. And anyone who's listened to my podcast or read my newsletter or watched my videos, you'll know that there's more to me than just selling trading courses. Right? I actually came into trading education as almost like a natural progression, almost by accident, if you like. It was just something I was gonna do. It just fit with my plan to replace an income, and that was it. It just turned out that I actually got a bit sick of looking at all the crap around there and thought, well, I'm going to contribute to this. So I'm going to do a quick introduction on me. I'm not going to go like mad. I'm not going to but I really do want to give you a bit more of a kind of insight into why we've built the platform how we have, what we offer and why, and who it's built for, and kind of why we have such success. Because as Akil, mentioned earlier, we kind of kicked out, I can't even remember his name now, right? But we kick out the people, we're just filtering in the good. That's it. And we've nailed that. We're very, very good at that now. We're very proud at being good at that, because the thing with us is we only want results, because we figured if we could just build a platform that was something we wish we had when we were learning, and we could only get results for the client, and we just want to get profitable clients, that's it, that's the only focus, well then we're naturally going to get good reviews, good kind of feedback, the word's going to spread, and we don't have to worry about selling dreams and all that rubbish. So we're going to give it to you real. Is everyone all right with that? I'm going to give it to you real, and we're going to kind of build on this thing. So I'm going to share with you a bit behind the scenes of Tier 1 today. I'm going to blow your mind with kind of one of the main important things in your trading, and then later on in my session, I'm going to talk about your daily routine. And as we go over this week, we're going to start building your trade plan, building your system. And when Mike comes in, he's going to kind of reinforce what we've been talking about. And then we're going to give you loads of freebies across the week as well. Today, I'm going to give you a little freebie as well. So does that sound good with you? Good stuff. Right, I'm going to have a sip of my coffee. Everyone can see the screen. So just to kind of give you an overview on what's to come. What is Tier 1? Right, I'm going to talk to you about the insides of Tier 1, what we're about, who it's built for, what you have, what there is, and kind of, not too much about in depth about what's in the platform, but how it was built, how it was conceived, and why. Some disruptions and insights, and then we're going to do some daily routines, some live examples of that, and then I'm going to give you some homework. And what you won't get in here is fluff. Anyone that's listened to my podcast or heard me speak before, any of my talks or any of my business events or trading events or whatever, I have a zero fluff rule. I hate fluff. I would rather just give people the meat, no fat, and everything that I say, everything that I give, everything that I talk about is pure, non-negotiable, unarguable information. There's no, that it's there is no other opinion. It is facts, raw facts, and I prefer to be like that. So, just quickly about me, okay? I am not a trading guru. I'm not a trading educating guru. I've built multi-million pound businesses online and offline. I achieved financial independence deliberately by the time I was 30. I transitioned from a frustration in an industry that I hated to spending every day inspired by how I could help people and serve people and how I could build more businesses and hedge and do more. We've built obviously a highly respected global online community and education platform over the last couple of years. And we've featured in highly respected industry media, and I'm also a business investor. And if any of you guys have, heard of Daniel Priestley and the likes of that, the really good quality companies, I'm, with those guys. Okay, I invest in those types of businesses. I'm an investor, so I'm not just someone pulling the wool over your eyes. There's actually some substance here. I live with my 2 kids and my wife, and I've been trading for many years now. This is another tool, a very, very powerful wealth acceleration tool that I use, so I don't sell dreams. This is just another tool in my arsenal. Make sense? So I'm not, so there's more to me than just a trading educator. We've featured in lots and lots. You can go and find me in all the kind of blogs and articles and TradingView and podcasts and all that kind of stuff. I've done talks at universities on failure rates in trading. I've given talks to the business center and the business and entrepreneurship sector in Brunel University, Nottingham and Trent Business School. I did a report for them. So people kind of want to hear our insights, and that's much to do with the amount of exposure we've had to working with traders and our contribution to that industry. Because there's too many people out there that kind of teach traders and then they take the money and run, and there's no feedback, there's no contribution. And obviously one of our big values here is contribution. I've worked on the trade floors of SMB Capital. I've been over there, spent lots of time on that trading desk, got to know some of the traders, knew what they're all about. I also met up with Adam Grimes. Anyone familiar with the art and science technical analysis? I spent a good few hours with him during an interview. Then we went for drinks after, and I've been in touch with him ever since, and we exchange emails almost on a weekly basis. So we are aligned with some pretty decent people. If you're on TradingView, you can find me and Akil Stokes usually at the top, right, Akil? not that I know how. we don't I don't really purposely make a point of really putting too much on here, but I do like to post an idea a week. Yeah, I mean, sorry, we do know how. We're the best, yeah. No, honestly, guys, I don't think I'm the best trader. I just I think that, you know, we're always up the top of the charts. What can I say? All time, baby. But you can go over there. My point is, if you're on TradingView, go over there. We do share the odd idea every once a week, twice a week, maybe-ish. Try to do a lot more, but go and check it out. Instagram, this is a bit outdated now, but there's I do post a lot on Instagram, a lot of kind of motivational stuff, my family stuff. So this is kind of inspirational stuff. It's for me, really. It's for me to share a particular message that resonates with me, I guess. Again, not selling dreams or anything like that. I like to give inspiration, a daily dose of inspiration, as Oprah Winfrey would say. I'm kind of the white man version of Oprah Winfrey. I just haven't got her hair. So many of you found me on Instagram. There you go. So many of you found me on Instagram, YouTube as well. Lots and lots of great educational videos on both mine and Akil's YouTube videos. So the reason I'm telling you this is because there's many people in here have been in for the first time. They've just been touched by Tier 1 for the first time. And I'm just in case that you drop off of here and you just go, you know what? Nah, it's probably another dream selling webinar. I'm just going to go and check something, you know. And then you might just think, oh, check out their videos. I hope you go and listen to this stuff. All right, go and listen to my podcast. It's not even about trading. It's about wealth creation and financial empowerment. So you'll see everything I've done up to in my life up until this point, and you'll see that trading was just that tipping tool that got me to where I wanted to go. And go and check it out. So YouTube, my newsletter, again, you'll see all that stuff in the newsletter. I really want to share this with you because you will get a lot of valuable information from this newsletter. Has anyone signed up to this, by the way? This is just free information I'm giving away to you here. So just go. I urge you, especially the newsletter and also the podcast span off of the newsletter. So I'd love it if you could go and listen to that. Reason being is because you're going to get a lot of value from that, even if trading isn't your thing. You get to the end of these 4 days and you think, wow, I really appreciate their angle and their slant there, because it's not like anything I've seen before. And actually, trading might be for me, I don't know, but I'm going to go and kind of empower my life financially anyway. And you can go and listen to all this free stuff as well. So has anyone listened to the podcast? What are people's thoughts on the podcast? There you go. So, we've got lots of people who listen to the podcast. So hopefully you get with a real deal. Who's a Tier 1 member, by the way, in here? So we probably got a few Tier 1 members in here. Everyone with Tier 1 member after their name, I'm guessing. There you go. Yeah. Right, so there's a load of Tier 1 members here. So our values here are transparency, integrity, and contribution. Okay, so we've got the transparency in terms of we've got the whole team in here. We've got members in here as well, so you can bounce questions off each other. We've got the integrity of the content that we're about to provide you, realistic expectations, realism, and then we've got the contribution, which is the reason I'm delivering this today and the reason that all of our community live by those values as well. You come into tier one, you have to abide by those values, and you contribute. We've had people come on and share their stories. We've had people come on, share tips. We've had people set up accountability groups and share tools that they've developed. It really is beyond, it's beyond a trading platform. It's a real solid, high level community. So over the years, we have worked with a lot of people as well. So just to kind of give you an authority stamp, I guess, 100,000 people, 117 countries. Probably update that now, Darren. It was 115, I think, back in May. Probably notched up a few more than 117. But about 6 million views and comments across all of the social media. And again, that probably needs updating. I've had 2 million views on my YouTube channel without comments. So the reason I share that is because we've had a ton of insights. You guys think that you're the only ones when you have a certain problem with your trading. Well, believe me, they're very common and there's only a few. And we've seen them all. Tons and tons and tons of comments and views. Lots and lots of messages and emails. And it comes down to a few different problems, which I've been over in previous workshops where I've gone really in depth, and we even did a live poll where we kind of threw up all the common problems, threw them on the screen, and everyone was resonating with like one of them. There wasn't one that was missed, and it really showed that there's a very predictable trader journey that I went through in the last event as well. And because of all these insights, that's why we've had such success creating this innovative platform, which Brett Steenberger there, world-leading trading psychologist, works with the likes of Goldman Sachs, Barclays. Okay, this guy is insanely talented with high-level and elite traders and managing their psychology around 7-figure accounts, 8-figure accounts, and more. So, he basically contacted me and said, "I'm writing an article. You can go and read this article on innovation in trader training. What it takes to actually succeed, and we'd love to feature you." And he rang me up, he interviewed me, and our tier one platform was featured in the Forbes magazine, which I was blown away by. So on top of that, one of the things we always get is people going, "Oh yeah, but it's just this, just that, how do we know?" And you can go and do your research. I don't know if people are scared to do this kind of thing. And I'm really hammering home on this because I want you to see that we've got a great system here, and I'm going to explain how we got this success. But, the feedback, go and do your own research. Type in Tier 1 Trading Review, and you're going to get, this is a site that's dedicated for trading educators, and you can go and see. Right? Just go and see for yourself. I don't know if people don't want to type it in because they're scared of what they might find. People ask me all the time, "Oh, have you heard of so-and-so? What do you think of him? What do you think of them?" And I'm like, well, just look, just do the work, like do the research. Type in so-and-so review. It takes 2 seconds. It's almost like people are scared to find out the truth, but it takes 2 seconds, and we've had tons and tons of very, very high-end reviews, very, very brilliant reviews. And the reason we've done that is because we've done it on purpose. We built Tier 1 with the mindset of how can we build something that we would have needed and fill all of the gaps and all of the holes and have everything that you need to go from off the street to profitable traders. To the degree where we've got people like Mike Bellafiore interested in what we're doing here, Forbes magazine interested in what we're doing here. We're churning out successful traders because of the way it's been built. If we just focused on getting results for the clients and we said, how can we, imagine this, if you started a business and said, how can we not get one negative review, and every action you took in your business was, you ask yourself that question first, will this get a negative review somehow? Well, let's tweak it, let's change it. How can this not get a negative review? Let's tweak it, let's change it. And you end up with a bloody brilliant platform. And I know you probably think, wow, this geezer's had too much coffee. I shamelessly promote this platform because I 100% believe with every fiber of my being that it is the best place to be if you want to learn to trade. It is not just an educational course. It is not just a flipping lesson, right? It is a life-changing environment. Okay? And I 100% believe that. And I'll happily stand up and tell people that. I stood up at the London Investors Show in front of all these other people and I said, this is, I wholeheartedly believed what I was telling them. It is good coffee. Okay, so what I kind of want to do is just rewind a little bit and kind of give you the reason why we exist. And we're going to take you on this kind of journey and get you really, really understanding, because the reason we churn out successful traders is they have this mindset. They understand the problems and they preempt them. And if we can give you insights, you'll be able to preempt. It won't be an unexpected for you. Therefore, it will make it very hard for you to fail later on. And then when later on in this workshop, when we're going to be giving you strategies and we're going to be building strategies and I'm going to give you rules and I'm going to literally give you one of my trend strategies that's so easy to learn. So easy to learn. I'm going to give you a testing tick sheet. We're going to give you a trade plan. We're going to give you a daily routine checklist. We're going to give you a trader assessment. Right? But by the end of it, when you look back and think about today, you'll think, that's why we needed to know that. That's why we needed to know that. Okay, so is everyone, does that sound good? Does that sound good? All right. So, just a quick little rewind then. We all want to be traders, okay? I wanted to be a trader. I wasn't gifted with kind of academics. I wasn't very good at math. I wasn't very good at, I wasn't very good in school, to be honest with you. And anyone's listened to my podcast, you'll know I've just taken my son out of school, my oldest son, homeschooling him because I completely do not believe in school unless you want to be a doctor, a nurse, or a lawyer. And my son doesn't want to be any of those, so I certainly won't be pushing you into it. But I was the same. I grew up on a little council estate in London, South London, Morden. Anyone from Morden? Hatfield Mead? Anyone know this estate? I wonder. Anyone know Morden in Surrey? Islington? Oh, right, the Angels. Same line. Morden was the end of it. Yeah, Hatfield Mead estate. This little thing here. I don't know if you can see this. Let's see if I can do the laser pointer. Everyone see the pointer here? Yeah, this was my flat. So I grew up here till I was 18 years old, and anyone who's listened to my podcast, on the other side of here was the little steps down here that I used to sit on every Friday, and they would go and do the syndicate lottery and moan about money. And that is the flat that I spoke about in the podcast. So that's where I grew up. Okay, and I didn't know what trading was then. I didn't know what trading was. But later on down the line, I'm not going to go deep into my past. You probably will, if you listen to the podcast, you'll hear a bit more. But later on, I wanted to trade Forex. Okay, that was the point. Right? Why do you want to trade Forex? So why do some of you want to trade? Why do some of you want to trade? Time, freedom. Freedom, time, freedom. Yep, business. Good business. Yep, excellent. Independent, lifestyle, income. Okay, so it's fair to say that it fits in one of these. Okay, these are the three big problems. This is why people are here. Money, time, skill, or control of their future, like a legacy, right? So in the past, I've gone really in depth into these three things and I've kind of drilled down on each of them. But that's the objective. One of the objectives is one of these three somehow. And the reason we know this now is because we've had so much data, so much confirmation from people that it really only boils down to these three things. So what's the objective? Well, the objective for me was time. If you've listened to my podcast, I wanted to free up my time so I could focus really purely on what I wanted to do. I knew I had to cover my expenses, and I've been over how you do that in the past. I've kind of given you guys almost like a formula to work towards replacing your income, so you can get those expectations of what you need to generate in your trading. A legacy. Okay, so I want to look way beyond my current life and see what I'm going to be leaving to my kids. A willable asset that I can leave to my kids. Financial freedom. Being able to maintain an income regardless of whether I die or not is something that's very important to me. It's high on my values, and therefore that's something that's very high. It was high on my objectives to want to be able to trade. But then you go down to kind of some of the most common ones, right? There's lots of problems out there where people go, well, retirement. I'm thinking about retirement now. Who's thinking about retirement? Is there anyone in here who's kind of, well, I guess from like 28 onwards, maybe, looking at this and thinking, geez, right? Some of you might be 40, 50, 60, 62, thinking about last week. And it scares the crap out of you, because when you start doing the numbers, the average life expectancy for men is 77. It's about 79 for women. But the average retirement pot here in the UK anyway is about 87,000. So when you do the maths on that, that means that you've got to live on $6,500 per year. Now this is pounds, but it's probably relative to your dollars or wherever you are in the world as well. It probably is relative. And I don't know about you, but when you retire, you don't want to spend your golden years living on $6,500 per year. Well, I don't anyway. I certainly don't. And you can go and check these numbers out, right? This is for UK. It's similar in the US. It's similar in Australia. It's similar in Africa. So, it is scary maths. Scary maths. And I didn't want that. So most people get into Forex trading because they want a way to manage their own money. I know Gabrielle in here, she had a load of savings. She wanted to manage her own money because she didn't trust what the banks were doing. People want control. People want control, as someone typed in earlier. Right? Yeah, that's peanuts. $6,500 per year. Right? What's that? £700 per month? £600 per month? Come on. What are you going to do with £600 per month? I don't know about you, but, there's controlling your living expenses and there's living like a peasant. I don't want to be doing that. Like, that is not inspiring. £600 per month. Not inspiring. Living out of, baked bean tins. No way. There's more to life than that. The next thing is people get told to save 10%. They read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. They save 10% of your income. Well, that's all good, but that's only, that's an incomplete strategy. You save 10% of your income. You work for 40 years. 10 years, you've got 1 year's wages. 10% of your income every month. In 1 year, you'll have 1 year's wages. So if you work for 40 years, 4 times 1, that's 4. That means you're going to have 4 years. All right, so let's just say that you had this and the pension. You've then got to hope that you only live for about 8 years. Right, but then when you do the kind of research and you see that the average savings is actually 3.4%, it's not actually 10%, and this is only people that actually save. Once you do the maths on that, it whittles down to about 2 years. And then you've got to think about retirement as well. So you go into retirement, you've got all this free time, your spend habits change, you want to buy the kids the sweets, the presents, you want to go on the trips, you want to take them away because you're feeling guilty for not having the time to spend with them, so you then kind of try and make up for lost time and you blow the kitty. And you work out you got about 6 months. That is not the one. That is not what I want, and I'm sure that's what's going through some of your head as well. Right? I'm sure this is going through some of your head. And then there's inflation. So people are looking at inflation and going, well, geez, with inflation and the spend habits and all of that stuff, I'm going to have about 6 months at the end of my life. And then at the end of those 6 months, I better hope that I don't live any longer, because if I haven't raised some kids that have some value on financial independence or money, I'm going to have no one to look after me as well. And if they do have a value on financial independence and they've built wealth, then I'll become a burden on them. Right? I don't know about you guys, but that is not what I wanted. So I'm kind of sharing with you my problem here and my, predicament and how I thought, and that is not the one. That is not what I wanted at all. And I'm sure many people, this is kind of a dawning realization for some people. And then there's financial planners. So I just mentioned Gabrielle. She was talking about having a, control over her money. Financial planners losing money. I remember an article. I paid my financial advisor $7,650 to lose me 7%. Right? What the hell? That is the stuff that's going on. They'll take your money. They'll say that, oh yeah, but you've just hit a downturn. You've just hit a downturn. Let's try this new idea. All right, you seen Wolf of Wall Street? Jeez, those brokers. This sort of stuff's going on. So the problem is when people do actually want to take control of their money, they set a goal to learn to do something with their money, whether it's saving or whether it's investing or whether it's trading in particular, right, being the topic of this session. And they set this goal, and they're out there, aren't they? They're out there in the world, bouncing from here to there, and they're kind of getting distracted, and they're breaking through, and then they're starting something else, and they never actually kind of get to the goal. And this is where tier 1 was going, right? We was monitoring all this and thinking, when do people actually get to the goal, and why? Why is that? Why are they going off track? What's the problem here? Why are they struggling so much? What is the struggle here? And obviously we'd been through the struggles. I'd been through the struggles for sure. But because you get that proximity bias, because it's you don't necessarily see it. You have to take a bird's eye view, and working with so many traders has allowed us to get that holistic view, that bird's eye view. And it's like, you can actually map it. So why do you think it is so hard? Why do you think it's so hard to get to where you want to go? Why do you think it's so hard to trade successfully? And we really all know the answers. When you're fat, right? Big overweight person, we all know the trick to weight loss. Very, very simple. Okay? Weight loss equals consume less calories than you burn. That is it. It is that. That is it. So why is it a multi-billion-dollar industry? Because one, they don't have the right mindset. Two, they don't know where to turn. Three, they've heard so much rubbish. Four, they're being hammered by noise from all of these gurus and kind of all these people that want to share their method and sell you their method. And what happens is when you've got the goal to lose weight, instead of kind of just sticking to one thing and getting consistent at it, you don't. You end up, just on this path and spiraling down. But the key is to get that consistency, narrow the focus, and set a plan. Okay, so we've got an actual plan in place, a realistic plan for everyone to follow and, get their money game right, and then get into the wealth acceleration phase where the trading comes in, which is where I got to. So whether or not you've kind of, you definitely don't want to be trading money that you can't afford to lose. Definitely don't want to do that. That's not going to put you in the right mindset. You're going to be off trying to get the quick win. So now I've kind of just given you kind of a brief overview of that. Why do you really, really want to trade Forex? Okay. This is important. A lot of people think they want to do it. And this is where we turn away some more people. Because even when I was speaking to Mike Bellafiore last, I said, why do you think that people think they want to trade? And we said this at the Vault as well. Those of you who are at the Vault, why do you think people think that they want to trade? And he said, I don't know, but they don't. So you have to really, really want it. Like, you have to really want it. And I don't want you guys spending 4 days in this workshop when you don't, it's not really pushing your buttons. Okay, it's not a tool that you think, actually, yeah, that I could do that. You're actually looking at it thinking, God, I probably best put my attention somewhere else. And again, that's how we get good, high quality community, same vision community, like-minded people, and that's how we get so many good results. Because we filter out. We turn people off. Right? You have to be excited about the returns and excited about your life and what that looks like and excited about the freedom and understand that you've got to put in some hours looking at this stuff. It's not an overnight thing. So now you know why. What's stopping you? All right, so let's have some answers. What's actually stopping you then? Because if like weight loss is consume less calories than you burn, surely becoming a consistently profitable trader is win more than you lose, right? No? No. Wrong. There is so much more to it than that. So this is where I want to give you some real solid insights in how we've kind of structured this, why we exist, what it's about. I'll invite, in a bit, I would invite Akil and Darren on even to just kind of give us a bit of a discussion going, but that is so wrong. To be a consistently profitable trader, you do not just win more than you lose. That's rubbish. And people that come in and say, oh, look, this guy is always winning trades, that's just rubbish. This is a business we're going into, okay? Do you know any business where the profit and loss sheet is all profit? Do you know any business that sells a product at 100% profit? Right? You could argue that some technology businesses or software businesses start to then generate high profit margins, but it's never 100%. There's always staff, there's always a system, there's always a process. Right? So why would trading be 100%? It's wrong. So when we decided to create what we call Tier 1 trading, which is a platform, okay, we had to solve a puzzle. We had all this information, we had all this kind of this holistic view, this bird's eye view, and there was only about 6 things. All right? And I want you to kind of join in with these because I want you to kind of hold your hand up and say, yes, I'm there. I'm there. That's me. So what we did is we just said, as I said, we wanted to shine the light on the clients, flip the switch and say, how can we get results for these people? Because believe me, I know like as much as I love teaching, I'm not doing this for my health. Right? I sit there every day since 2015. I've been running this live room, and some of the same people are still there and have heard me do the same thing every day. Like, I value my time more than a lot of people that I know. I'm always going on about my time. Right? I make most of every single minute of the day, and I would not be sitting there every day if this wasn't, profitable for me or worth my time. I just wouldn't. I wouldn't. I'd do something else. So we just knew that we had to solve this puzzle, and if we could put this puzzle together and kind of underpin all the problems, we would have a very, very low success rate. And that gave us the edge in the trading business, in the education space. So the puzzle we needed to solve was very, very simple. The first piece was want, why, where, and when. Okay? Lots of people didn't actually want it, as I just said, so we filter them out. They don't have that burning reason why they want it. So we filter those guys out somehow. We get rid of them. And they're happy to go because they're like, well, you've opened my eyes very, very quickly. I haven't had to kind of invest a lot of time or money with you guys, and I've now realized. They didn't know where to go for information or where to enter trades or where to go for platforms or brokers or strategies. So we needed to provide all that kind of stuff. They didn't know when to trade or when was best for them, more importantly, because they kind of end up not knowing when to trade. But they don't know, they don't know. Like they just don't know when, like they're trying to juggle a life as well. So we've kind of had to structure this haven for them to know exactly when to do that, how to do it, and so on. The next thing was expectations. This was a massive failing point. Who's had unrealistic expectations here? Right? I probably have a weekly conversation with someone that says, so if I gave you $5,000, how much will that return me after a year? And when I tell them, when I say, well, all we can really do is give you an average percent return based on our average trader's performance, they're like, well, that's where I was massively underestimating it. Right? So they don't know how long it's going to take, but they also don't know how much it's going to cost them in education or equipment, right? Broker fees, all that kind of stuff. They've got no idea. They've got no expectation around that. Spreads, right? They don't know where to start or how it'll affect them as a person or the people around them. They've got no expectations of how people will treat them. Who's had some funny treatment from family or friends since you've been trading? I bet there's people in here that haven't even told people that they're up to it. Huh? Come on. Fess up. Right? So, would you agree that you need expectations for that? If you're preempting it, you feel normal. If you don't, you're like, oh, I'm going to back down because I didn't know this, I didn't know there'd be so much hate for this kind of thing. Right? There's people doing it successfully. I want to do it successfully. Why am I getting this grief from everyone? Garcia says I haven't told anyone. Well, go and tell them after this. Proudly. One of our clients, Andrew, his auntie's always on his case about it. Always on his case about it. Worried about his life more than hers. The next thing's accountability. So we realised that people were dropping off because there was no accountability. They were going into forums, getting all this different information. There was no one to really hold them accountable, no one to bounce off, no hand-holding, coaching, no kind of, this is my goal, hold me to it. That's why we had to implement the weekly accountability sessions. We've got accountability spreadsheets, groups, set up WhatsApp groups, live meetups in London. That's why we had to implement that, because it was so important. It made up one of the pieces of the puzzle. It was that important. Accountability. So who's actually suffered from this, where you've bought a course or you've bought something and you haven't even taken it, let alone got good at it? Right? I've bought so many courses, not on trading, but business courses, fitness courses, all that kind of stuff. Sits on the shelf. You don't even open it. No accountability. No one knows. No one even knows that you haven't opened it. No accountability. What if you say you're going to do something? Or what if you don't say you're going to? What if you don't tell anyone you're not going to do something? You probably won't do it. No accountability. So we had to build that in. Next thing was the learning quality. Right? Different levels of people coming in at different stages. People learning everything. Who's gone on baby pips and learned everything? I bet that was good for your brain. Right? Complete paralysis analysis. Can't even take a trade because of the conflicting trading decisions. And then there's people not knowing the basics. So they kind of learn the strategy, go to place a trade, go and open a thing. Then they message me and say, how do you calculate position size? How do you know what a pip is? Right? What that order that goes above there, is that a stop order? But you've just learned a strategy. So they don't learn the right way. There's no structured learning system. And also, they learn something. They go and pay for a course for $4,000 or $3,000 or $2,000. They learn a system that doesn't suit their personality or their lifestyle. Right? So they learn something that doesn't suit their personality. Crazy. You have to learn something and then build it to suit your personality and your lifestyle. If you don't do those two things, you're already on a back foot. You're making it hard for yourself. Next thing is testing, time, and tools. All right, people that didn't have the testing, people that didn't even know what it was, they were the biggest failure rate. People that had unrealistic time expectations, biggest failure rate. And then people that didn't have the tools, right? The business tools, the indicators to help them kind of train their eye. All of that stuff, people were dropping off because they didn't have that stuff. They might have just had this, but they didn't have the rest. Okay, and then lastly, it was the help and the transparency. So people wanted to watch you trade. If you could have an over-the-shoulder glimpse at what a real trader was doing on a daily basis every single day, and then not only that, after the trading session finishes, a watch list video comes out to follow up on the trade. Right? Would you agree that that kind of level of transparency would be very, very helpful learning to trade? And people that didn't have that were falling off the radar. So what we wanted to do is we wanted to teach people to build a system to suit you. We wanted to give them expectations and formulas to calculate their own journey and where they would be in a year from now, 2 years from now. Wanted to provide accountability. We wanted to provide the courses, all the courses necessary from basics to advanced, the tools, live examples, and most of all, we had to do it in a way where it could be personal. So everyone was different stages. Everyone was coming in from a different angle, and everyone had different lifestyles and personalities. So we had to do it in a way that made it personal. And that was the last bit of the puzzle. Last bit of the puzzle. So so now you know all that stuff. That's it. That is why we've got such a high success rate in this field, because we built a platform that covers all those things. Now, just off the bat here, because I'm going to show you something in a sec that was almost like fate this morning. What are the two things, the two emotional drivers that we encounter when we're in the market? Most common. What would you say? Fear and greed. Fear and greed. Fear and greed. Straight away. And this morning, I swear, the universe, if you think of stuff, the universe gives it to you. Strong believer. This is this morning, right? I got this message. I was on the running machine, on the treadmill, doing my incline, right? Trying to burn off some of the dad bod. And this message pings up on Facebook Messenger, and it says, "Hey Jason, I need you to recommend a book for me on strict management, risk management. I think I need one." Right? Who's thought this same thing the same? Who's thought this? Not necessarily a book, but some advice. I think I need you to recommend a book for me on strict risk management. Right? The thing is, like, people think that a book is going to sort out their risk management, but really the underlying message here, when you've worked with as many traders as I have, what I'm seeing from this message is the guy can't control himself. Is that a fair assessment? There's something missing in the makeup of this trader that has made him put that message. It's not just he needs a book on risk management. Please, I need you to recommend a book for me on strict risk management. What does that say? What does the strict mean? He's desperate, right? He's breaking his rules over and over again. No consistency. Now, you've seen how calm myself and Akil, I'm a bit hyped up right now. I've had far too many coffees, but, you know, Akil, I think if he was any more calm when he was trading, he would be dead. Right? You've seen how calm and collected traders are, professional traders are, when they're trading. It's a process. Right? We win, we lose, we win, we lose. It's just a process. We're not saying we need a strict risk management book. That will save me. That will help me. Would you agree there's an underlying problem here that a book won't solve? There's something deeper, isn't there? And it doesn't take someone who's worked with thousands of traders to figure that out. It's obvious. And the reason it's a process for us and not for this guy is because we've taken the time to build a system that we trust so much that we teach people to do it for themselves. We can actually transfer that knowledge and that skill. And when I look at this message, all this says to me is fear and greed. That's the two drivers that he's worried about, and that's the reason he wants a strict risk management book. Fair assessment? So to get I really want to share with you how we kind of analyze this type of message, because this isn't just a social media message. This is feedback to us. This is how we take everything at Tier 1, break it apart, and make something brilliant out of it. Right? We fill in a gap. So the question to me is, why do we have fear and greed? Why do we have fear and greed? Does anyone even know the answer to that? Because to be fearful or greed driven, right? Fear is something in the future. Does the future even exist? Does the future exist? There's a question for you. And this is going to be relative to the way that we approach trading education as well, and the tools that we give. The future doesn't exist, no. Because now's the future. Now's the future. Right? There's no future. There's no future at the moment. If you imagine that we've got a past and a future, and we're just in the middle, we're just present. Okay, so the future is not here yet. So how can we be fearful of something that happens in the future? Because that's all the fear is. We're not fearful of something we're doing now, we're fearful of something that's going to happen in the future. That's why the guy needs a book on strict risk management, because he's fearful that something might happen in the future. Okay? So fear in the future is purely, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the future is just imagination and the past is memory. Would everyone agree with that? Okay. So why do we even have fear and greed? Okay, the future is purely a mirror of your memory. So it's whatever you're memorizing and you're perceived as a fear will be projected into the future, and you'll be scared of that again. So if you're making mistakes, you're fearful you're going to make them again. So imagine that this guy took a big loss, okay? And up the top we've got positive, down the bottom we've got negative, and on the left-hand side we've got past, and on the right-hand side we've got future, and you're bang in the middle. This is right now. So let's just say he took a loss and he perceived that to be a very, very negative thing to happen to him in the past. What you're going to do from that loss is you're going to feel very, very resentful. Agree? Something that you perceive to be negative in your past will make you resentful, but nothing's happened to you in the future. Nothing has happened to you in the future. You don't know what's going to happen in the future. But what does that do to your future imagination? Fear. You got it. Nancy got it in one. You will inject fear onto yourself based on something that hasn't even happened, because it mirrored something that happened in your past. Okay? And do you think this, if you had a big loss, or you were scammed, or you fell for something stupid, or you let yourself down, or you lost a load of money to a broker, and if that happened to you, you're probably resentful for it. So now you're very fearful, and that's why we got all the messages on the Facebook ads, you know, oh, it's just another crap, I've lost loads of money. This is all it is, because it's an imagination of what's going to happen again. And the same is for a positive. Same for a positive. So, like those of you who first met your partner, right? Remember, when you first met, you was infatuated with them. You had this infatuation, okay? And then as time goes on, right, you get kind of comfortable and you memorize what it used to be like, and then maybe you feel like you're not valued or appreciated, and then you've got this kind of fantasy that that's what it should be like, a relationship. But it's not. It's something that was way, You had it way up. It was too positive as a memory. So you got this unrealistic expectation about it in the future. Make sense? And this will all make sense. I mean, this is why we have greed as well. Let's just say you open a demo account or you open a real account and have a big winner in the past. You've got infatuation with what trading's like. Who's had that? Has anyone opened an account and had a massive winning trade? And then in your present state, you're thinking, God, this is easy. You haven't got the fear. You're living in fantasy land. You've got that greed. You've got green in your eyes. Right? So the reason that me and Akil and professional traders are so calm is because we neutralize this. Okay? There's a positive and negative to every single thing that's happened to you. And when you understand that a losing trade is just bringing you one closer to a winner, or a losing trade is one lesson learned, a donation, you've heard us say it's donation to the market, right? It's donation to your development as a trader. So when you get to a place where you can kind of neutralize all of this, and think about backtesting. Think about this as backtesting. If you're going into the future with a system that you don't know the past, this is going on over and over and over again. Over and over again. Right? Because this is right now. Let's just say this doesn't exist. You take a trade, you hit a winner. I'm infatuated with the past trade. Okay? This is what it's always like. I'm greedy. I'm going to take another one. Bang. You hit a loser. Oh no, I'm resentful for that. And you are going around in circles. Going around in circles with this, you're kind of up and down and up and down. The emotions are going mad. And you've got no way of controlling them and neutralizing them. So how do we do this? How does Tier 1 coach people on doing this? How does Tier 1 have an effect on people so that they can neutralize everything? Well, it's very, very simple. It's belief transference from the transparency of trading every day and watching someone trade every day. Accountability. Can you see how that would help neutralize the transparency? Confidence in your system, because you've built it around your personality and your lifestyle, and you know your expectations, you know the performance of it over time, you know you're expecting maximum drawdown and a maximum loss at any one time, you know your return on investment. Is this making sense? Right? Skills. You need to develop the skills, enough skills, and skills is the tiniest bit of it, believe me. And you can probably see why. You need verified results. You need tools to be able to verify your results. You need peace of mind that you've got a verified results. And you need a consistent approach. Right? Consistency. There's an actual clue in the title of Consistently Profitable Trader. You have to be consistent. That's the key. That's the key. Biggest thing in trading. And finally, planning and testing. Planning and testing. Planning and testing. Okay? And that means that no back-tested systems means that you'll have a fear or a fantasy and you'll be greedy or fearful, and that is it. It's like losing weight. It's so simple. If you've had no results, you won't expect the result. If you had a bad result, you'll expect a bad result. If you've had a good result, you'll expect a good result. But you will be unrealistic in your approach until you neutralize everything. So what I want to do is I want to talk to you about daily routine, and I'm going to build out a daily routine with you. And I'm going to talk about planning and the power of planning. I'm going to give you a routine planner. I'm going to walk you through it. Does that sound good? So we can start to build up. This is day one. You've been in the charts. You've been exposed to market analysis. We're now going to kind of start building your system and start easing you into trading, because when the first thing you should ask yourself when you start learning to trade is, when can you consistently dedicate to the markets? Because you want to build every habit off of consistency. That includes learning. That doesn't mean just going in the market. It means learning. Start that habit now, and we're going to give you the tools to do that right after a little break. I just need to get a little bit of a coffee. Okay, I'll let Akil come on and talk maybe, or we'll just take a 5-minute break, and I'm going to come back and hammer through this with you guys. So grab a quick drink, and I'll see you in a sec.